Okay, good morning. Yesterday I given you an overview of few topics. What we learned yesterday, we discussed about what is web. So we learned about what is difference between internet and web. So technically, what is web? Web is a portion of internet. It is a portion of internet with restricted access. And the concept of web was introduced by Tim Berners-Lee. And Tim Berners-Lee introduced a language for web, that is what? HTML. And we have to now learn more technical terms, and we will see practically how all these options will work. First, you are learning web technologies. That's the reason first you need to know what exactly web means. After understanding the basic terms, what is internet and what is web, we have to know about very important concept, web server. Detailedly we will see today. Actually, in real world software development, entire software development happens on 4 servers. I will show you a general scenario. Actually, in real time, software development means in companies, in large scale companies, entire software development happens on 4 servers actually. Entire development happens on 4 servers. 4 servers. We usually have a sandbox server, or we call it as a golden server. And we have a development server, and we will have a quality server, and we will have a production server, and usually these are the servers we are having: the development, the quality, and the production, and we have the client. So this is client, is the person who is using our application. Whatever the application we built, he is using. Entire software development in real-time projects happens in these 4 servers. Sandbox server means, actually we call this as repository server. That means, in order to build a software, whatever libraries are required, everything is kept inside this server. That means sandbox server is the server where the repository is kept. Repository means library. In order to build software, we need lot of things. Lot of software libraries are required. All those are kept in this sandbox server. That means whatever library required for building application, those libraries are kept here. We keep all the library here. This is the repository server. When you go to any software company as a developer, they will give you a system, a laptop or a desktop, and as a developer, they will give you access to only certain servers. As a developer, you will be given access to development server only development server. What will happen in this development server is, developers are given access to this server. developers usually build application here. That means the building of application, a software is built in development server. That means as a software developer, you are given access to development server. You will log into the development server and you will build the application there. What we do is we build application on the development server. After building the application on development server, once the application is built, so once the application is built here, that means we are building an application on development server. After building this application, we move this application to quality server. Quality server is the location where your application is tested. That means our testing team will be there. The testing team will test the application. Is it working fine or not? Are there any problems in that application? Is it according to the client requirements or not? Everything testing happens in quality server. If there are any problems in the application, then this is again sent to the development. The development people have to correct those mistakes and make sure that it is according to the client requirements. So building of application happens on development server. After building, it's tested on quality server. Once it is tested, everything fine, then we will move this application to production server. Production server is the server that goes live. That means now your client will be accessing your application and using it from the production server. That means our clients are given access to this production server. So application is on production and from there the client will use. Client will be using on production. Very important is if client wants some changes in application, that means he says that I want some new details, I want some new features. Then we don't do anything on production. We don't touch the production. Then what happens is we take this application. So again, to which location? Development. In the development, we will make the changes. We will add those new things, whatever client wants. After that, we will again move to the quality. From there, it will move to the production. Now the new features also available to the client. So technically, entire software development happens on this server zone. Generally, when people are learning software technologies, especially web technologies, majority of the times how people learn is, for example, you are learning HTML, CSS. These things are very simple. Why? Because these days you can see, if you know CBSE syllabus, in CBSE 5th class, 5th grade have HTML. That means if CBSE 5th grade student knows HTML, because in their syllabus they have HTML. They have HTML. By the end of 10th grade, they will do project in Java. They have Java in their 10th grade. Our engineering people will do Java, right? But the 10th grade student itself does Java. He knows because that is a part of their syllabus. Then what is difference between a 5th grade student HTML and our HTML? That means he learns HTML just as a technology, just as a knowledge of some software. Then generally how those people practice it? What they do is they will create one file, they will save that file on their computer, and in order to see it, they will double click on it, it will open, and they will see the output, how it is coming. But when that file is uploaded on any live server, that means finally we want it live as a website. that file when we upload on live server, it will not work properly because he written the code suitable for his file system and he is using on live servers that is completely different. That means the code will change from one server to another. Code also changes. You will see that generally what code you write for development, the same code will not be for production. For example, you are already working on any technology. You have 10 years, 15 years experience in software technology. And sometimes you want to change the company and call comes from another company. In that call, they say that we need people for production support. That means they will say that we don't want a developer. We are looking for a person for production support. Production support means already the project is ready. It is being used by the clients. If they have any technical problem while using, then they will raise that problem. As a software technician, you have to resolve that live. So that is not general freshers responsibility. They can't handle it. That is very expert, experienced people. We call it as production support. Generally, the point here is you have to learn how to build an application in the same way how it works for live environment. If you build in a different environment and you take it to live, it will misbehave. It will not work as expected. That means we have to design exactly in the same way how it is used. That's the reason we have to learn how the applications are built for real-time environment. The same scenario we will set here. And from here, we can directly publish to the cloud also. We will learn how to publish to the cloud. Technically, don't do programming or development like normal school kids. That means generally, if I have to create a web page, see what people do. What they will do is they will open some program, they will write some code, they will write some code. After that, they will save this file, and I am saving the file on my desktop, some demo.html, something like this. They will save. After that, what they do is they open that file. On desktop, I have saved it, demo.html. They will open it, double click, and you can see that output is working. This is how generally the basic learners learn web technology. This is completely wrong. This is completely wrong because the code that you write for development, so it should be in such a way that it is perfectly matching for production. That means I will show you those problems, how it works. That means currently you can see that you are accessing the file from this location. Currently we are accessing the file from this location. But when it goes live, generally when it goes live, how the address will be, I hope you people know. Generally when it goes live, the address will be like www.somewebsite.com. Am I right? Then the path you written, the logic that you written will not run in the perfect way. That is the reason we have to learn the development process in the same way how it goes to the production. So in our entire full stack course, we are going to learn and design and work everything on these servers only. So that is the reason server is very important for us to understand. I am not going to teach you like school kids, like save the file on some folder, double click on it, open it. We will do everything with server so that our application will be finally ready for production so that we can deploy directly on the live cloud server. So in general, entire software development happens on 4 servers. What are those? Sandbox, development, and quality and production. What is sandbox server? Sandbox server is the server where the repository is kept, library. Application is built on which server? Development server. Application is tested on which server? Quality server. And application will be used from which server? Production server. That is the development process. So we have this process. Here you need to understand another point. Once you know how the software development happens, means the server's concept, that means you need to know sandbox and development and quality and production. This is the server. Various servers are used. Second point, as a software developer, you need to know about tiers. Tier architecture. This is another important. If you know these points, then only you will understand your responsibility. That means as a software developer, full stack developer, what is our role? To understand that role, you need to know all these points. We have to know tiers and layers. Tiers and layers. This is one general question regularly comes in interviews also. Because generally when you people go to interview, because many people come that I want to put some fake experience because I have 5 years gap, 3 years gap, 2 years gap. And I want to attend interviews with that fake experience. What do you think? The software companies don't know that you are fake. You are so genius that you are faking the software companies. They have seen lakhs of people like you. After all, that means everybody knows. Interviewer will speak to you just for 5 minutes and he will tell that you are fake. Right? Enough. Just 1 minute, 2 minutes talking with you is enough for him to identify. He is genius than you. He knows everything. Only the point is he will check whether your skill levels are according to your experience or not. And if you are matching that skill level, he don't have objection. He will say that once my HR will confirm your background, if it is okay, I am okay with your skill, you can take them. So because everybody knows you are faking the experience, don't think that you will bluff them and you will fake your experience. Those people are more genius than you. They have seen lakhs of people like you. Every day they see several people like you. So that means don't think that you are faking experience and nobody knows about that. Everybody knows about that. Right? Now the point here is generally to understand whether he is faking experience or he have genuine experience, these type of questions are very common. That means generally many people say that I am a .NET developer, Java developer. Then if I ask what is the role of sandbox server, majority people don't know. What is the role of that means you are 5 years experience without knowing sandbox server. Then which company you worked? Right? This is very basic thing. That is the reason at experience level, technical terms are very important. Not practical. Before going to practical, you have to talk to the person who is interviewing you. And he will check your skill levels. Then he will give you system testing. Even you are perfect in practical, first you are tested with general interview, right? In that case, you will fail. Majority people fail in these levels. And this is very regular question. What is difference between tier and layers? First question answer, I hope you already have that. What is sandbox, development, quality and production? What is difference between tier and layers? Let's see the point. Actually, what is difference between tier and layers? See, generally to build a software, we need so many things. See, actually to build an application for any client requirement, we need database. Database is the location where we store the data required for application. For example, I will take you a simple example of Amazon. When Amazon shopping, Amazon shopping. Generally, in this Amazon shopping, whatever products, categories, list of products that you see on website, for example, all that information comes from the database. Actually, this database is kept in a separate server. This database is kept in a separate server. That is generally we call as database server. We call as database server. We will have a database server. Database server is the location where the database is present. Database can be like any database, like Oracle, like MySQL, so like MongoDB. It can be any database. Database is kept in a separate server. Yesterday I showed you data centers, na? You saw on YouTube, Google data center I showed you yesterday. So huge data centers, they are only data centers. That means their only data is kept, not the application. Actually, application is kept in another server. Your application is present in another server. We generally call this as application server. We have an application server. In that application server, your application is kept. Application is kept in the application server. The data required for application is present on same server. The data required for application is present on same server. No, it is present on different server. Database on database server, application on application server. And here we build the application by using some server side technologies like JSP, like PHP, like ASP, like Node.js. We use that. So various softwares are used, server side technologies are used for that. After that, generally, we are now using, I am showing you only high level design because you are in the beginning stages. Once you start learning the technology, in-depth architecture you will learn later. In-depth architecture means what happens in database server, what happens in application server. In application server, how application is maintained, all such architecture you will understand. You will have a client. This is the user. This is the user. User, or you say client. So client is using the application. Client is using the application. Client is using the application. Is that application present on client machine? Is that application present on client machine? Application is not present on client machine. Application is present on application server. Database is present on database server. It is being used from another machine. That means your application is currently running. Your application is currently running in 3 locations. One location data, another location application, another location using. This is called, this is called actually 3-tier. Application usually, application runs in tiers. For example, if I say 1-tier architecture, 1-tier means it is installed on a computer and it is used from the same computer. That means everything is present on one machine. That means the application is present on the same machine. So, and you are using from the same machine. These kind of applications are called as 1-tier. 2-tier applications. 2-tier application means you are using application on one machine. Data is coming from another machine. Then it is called as 2-tier. 3-tier applications. Data is on one machine. Application on another machine. You are using from another machine. That is 3-tier. All our internet applications, web applications are 3-tier applications. You will learn about later entire 3-tier architectures. You will detailedly learn about them. What is 3-tier, entire detail. As of now, you should know that all the applications that you are working with, web applications, are which tier? 3-tier. Our web applications, we are learning web development. In web applications, it is 3-tier. Actually, what is difference between a full stack developer and UI developer? UI developer role and responsibility will be everything UI developer role and responsibility will be in this only. Generally UI developers, only UI developers. You are not UI developer, you are UI full stack developers. UI developers role will be in that place only. That means only in the UI role only. That means client side. That means for that, what the technologies they have to learn, like HTML, like CSS, like JavaScript, like jQuery, even Angular and React, all these comes under one tier only. This is UI. What is difference between a UI developer and a full stack developer? Full stack developer is involved in all the three areas. A full stack developer is involved in all the three areas. That means you are responsible for building the database, maintaining that, and you are responsible for building the application, and you are responsible for designing the UI required for the application. That means UI developer, generally Java developer, .NET developer, PHP, Python, all these developers, they actually comes under these, they learn these two. That means a Java developer, he knows how to build an application and database, but he is not good in UI. So, but in current generation, Java developer or .NET developer or PHP or Python developer, he must have knowledge of good UI. Otherwise, companies are not interested in your profiles. So companies are now interested in profiles only the people who know knowledge of end-to-end development. We don't want white elephants anymore. We want only donkeys. Right? Genuinely. That means we want donkeys. That means they can do everything, hard work, every work. We don't want white elephants. White elephants are very rare, specialized. They do only specific work. Such people are kicked out of companies now. Now, you know, when you are learning full stack development in this course, in these classes, several people who are already working in companies for several years, they come here to learn this course again. That means what is the need? What is the necessity of those people to learn this course again? Why? Because their company says that you are specialized in this, but we want now people who are specialized in other areas also. We don't want only specialists. So that is the reason full stack developers are now very much trending in the current software market. Very trending. That means you are a Java developer, not satisfied. Java full stack developer, okay, good. .NET developer, Python developer, not satisfied. Full stack developer, good, come. Why? Because we need people who have knowledge of end-to-end development these days. And the full stack developer have the responsibility of all the three tiers. That means, remember, application is running in how many tiers? Application is running in how many tiers? Three tiers. Three tiers. Next important point, observe carefully. I hope everyone is clear with the tiers, concept of tiers. Then what is layer? That means what is the concept of layer and what is the topic of layer? Actually, application is running in tiers. Application run in tiers. Application run in tiers. Application is actually built in layers. Application is built in layers. Layers. That means application is built in layers. We build application in layers. Build application in layers. For example, I will show you a point here. We said that this is application. That means in application server, we have application. In that application, actually, in that application, we will have three layers. We have a UI layer. UI layer. We will have a business layer. Business layer. We will have a database layer. Database layer. Remember, database is different. Database layer is different. That means application is built in layers. In UI layer, we will prepare the design. In the business layer, we will write the logic. In database layer, we will communicate with the database. That means application is built in layers. We build the application in layers. That means what happens here is generally in UI layer, in UI layer, in UI layer, we build the user interface. User interface. We build the user interface. User interface means all the presentation. That means the presentation happens. Presentation happens in UI layer. After that, after building it, so we have to write the logic for communication. That is done by business layer. Business layer. In business layer, whatever the logic is required to communicate between the client and the database, that is written in the business layer. Business layer. And if necessary, they will have several other layers you will learn later. Like we will have a service layer. We will have like data layer. There are so many other options. Applications are built in layers. After building the application, where the database is kept, database is kept in database server. Where the application is kept, application server. That means you built the application in layers. After building the application, that application have to run, and that application runs in servers. We have database server, we have application server, and we have client. So applications are built in layers, and applications will run in, sorry, application is built in layers. Application will run in tiers. I will tell you a correct point here. See, you go to any interviews. Now you have 3+ years experience. Now in 3 years experience, you say that I have done a project, some project A. So from this year, some 2019 to 2020, I have worked on one project. So like this I define. Means I am telling about how experienced people have to write the resume, right? In that what they have to mention. They will say that, so in my 3 years experience, so my project, some project A from this year to this year. When we write about this project, first point, we have to write the role. As a developer, so first you have to write what is the architecture of your application. Architecture. That means you built an application. You are responsible for building an application. What is the architecture of that application? You say, you have to say that I worked for a 3-tier application. That means my application is what kind of application? 3-tier application. Then he will ask that in that application, what was your role? In that application, what was your role? Then you will say that my role was in UI layer. You will say that my role was in business layer. My role was in data layer. In data layer. But you will not say that I done that project. So you can't do a project because it is a large scale application. You cannot work on all the areas. You will be working only on few. Either you will be working on UI layer, either you will be working on database layer, or UI and business layer, like that, depending on experience. Majority, 100 to 100%, freshers always will be in UI layer only. That means by mistake, when you prepare a resume, in that resume you said, I have 5 years experience. This is my first project. I joined on this date. This is my first project. In that first project, I worked with business layer. Then you are fake. That means how come you can, so genius, huh? You are so genius that immediately after finished your technology, you are in business layer. It can never happen. Even you are genius also, company will not put you in business layer. Right? Because as a fresher, 100 to 100%, minimum 6 or 8 months, you have to work in UI layer only. Nothing else. You may be so genius, don't care. Because you don't have any idea of complete project architecture. We can't put you in complex roles where very complex problems will come if you misuse that. That is the reason your first project always you will be in which layer? UI layer. But sometimes when they conduct interview and they see that you have very good knowledge in database, but you don't have proper knowledge in UI and business, then they will think that, okay, this person is good for database and he will put in the database layer, because database is specialized and you will put in the database layer. But remember, depending on that, we have to configure. That means now I hope you understood. My application is my application is which kind of application? 3-tier application. If it is 3-tier application, my role must be in tiers, na? But my role is not in tiers. My role is in layers. Why? Because as a software developer, you are responsible for building application, then not running the application. Running the application, I will tell you who will be in the layer. For example, you said my role was in data layer, and you said my role was in data tier. What is difference? I will tell you. In data layer, what is your responsibility? In data layer, our responsibility is like create database, like create tables. Our responsibility will be like writing the queries. Understood? These are all the responsibility of the person who is working in database layer. What is the responsibility of the person working in database tier? Database tier means he will be responsible for taking backup of data, data backup, maintaining the data, backup of data, restoring the data, recovering the data, high availability, performance tuning. All these comes under database tier. Who will be in that responsibility? You might have heard about database administrators. Database administrators, they will not create the database, they will maintain the database. That means tier is all about maintenance and running. Layer is all about building. So a full stack developer, I hope now you got a clarity. Full stack developer is involved in which layers? Full stack developer is involved in 3 layers. We will have a UI layer, we will have a business layer, you will have a data layer. So in UI layer, you are going to learn how to build the user interface. For that, you are going to learn the technology, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, jQuery, JavaScript, all these. Some more are there. I am just giving overview. These are all the things you are going to learn in UI layer. In the business layer, you are going to learn like Node.js, like Express, and here you are going to learn a concept called APIs, services. All these things you will learn here. And in the database layer, you will learn how to build the database using MongoDB, like MySQL, all this. That means a full stack developer is involved in all the layers. Generally, UI developer means he is involved in UI layer. So a full stack developer is involved in all the 3 layers. We are going to build an application with all this end to end. This is complete end to end integration and working with that. And where to keep the application? We will build the application. Where to keep the application? You have to keep the application on a server. Without server also you can build the application, but that environment is not great for us. We will not do that. Why? Because it will mismatch. For example, I will tell you a general thing. Suppose on January 26, Republic Day parade happens. You know, on January 24th, that Republic Day parade happens before 26th. You know, don't know. On 24th, Republic Day parade happens. So before 26, with all the concept, only guests will not be there. Even audience also will be there. Audience also will be there. Guests will not be there. Audience will be there. And everything in the same way how it happens on 26th. Why? Because they have to match correct timing. They have to match every situation. So that means they have to, with complete uniform, complete everything. Because when they go live on 26, they cannot misfire. This is same in software development. You built in a different environment and you are running in a different environment. How it is good? That means you have to build the application in the same environment, how it goes live. For that, we have to learn how to configure the servers. So we have to know how to handle and work with the web servers. Actually, we have two types. We have local web server. We have cloud servers. Cloud servers, for that you have to purchase a cloud account. Free cloud accounts also will be there. You need to have little bit knowledge on cloud environment. Then you can use these cloud servers. If you put on cloud server, you can access that application and use from anywhere. Later I will tell you about those cloud servers. Means at the end we will discuss about cloud servers, because live we will learn later, not now. Cloud servers, like we have like Firebase. Firebase is a Google cloud server. We also have Mongo. Mongo is also have a cloud server. We have AWS. AWS is also a cloud server. We have Azure. Azure also a cloud server. So there so many cloud servers are there. So we can use any of these cloud servers. But we will not directly use cloud servers. First, we will use local server. Local server is nothing but local server is installed on your PC. Local server is installed on your PC. So what you can do is you can host your application and test it on your PC. You can host the application and test it on your PC. Once everything fine, then we can push this to the cloud servers. So first we will learn development in local servers. Then we will push them to the cloud servers. Nobody will develop live directly, right? That is the wrong scenario actually. We have to first learn development locally, test it, everything working fine. But remember that local environment must be exactly like live environment. The local environment must be exactly like live environment. Only the location will change. That's it. That means your application must be ready to publish. So local servers, so many are there. Like we have IIS, we have like Tomcat, we have like XAMPP servers. So we have like so many other servers are there. So many are there. Light TPD. So many are there. Hundreds of servers are present. I will give you two examples so that any platform people can use it easily. I will first show you one server. For example, if you are having Windows operating system, I will show you about a web server called IIS. It is Internet Information Services Manager. IIS, Internet Information Services Manager. Actually, if you have a Windows operating system on your PC or a laptop or anywhere, by default Windows comes with a web server. That means without installing anything, by default you have a web server. If you belong to Mac or other operating systems, I will tell you about a universal concept in the next point. I will tell you. If you are already having Windows operating system on your machine, then by default you have a web server called IIS. Let's see how it looks like. Where to find it, how it looks like. See, for that first you have to locate web server on your PC. Locate web server on your PC. This is, we say, Windows PC. Other operating systems, how to do, I will tell you in the next level, right? So what you have to do is open Windows control panel. You have control panel. You have to open Windows control panel. In control panel, you have to switch to large icons. You can be in any view, switch to large icons. There you have to go to administrative tools. In that administrative tools, you have to look for IIS. You will find internet information services manager. If not available, how to add it also I will show you. See, first open your Windows control panel. This is Windows control panel. I hope everybody knows this Windows control panel. In this Windows control panel, you can see right side, you can see here right side, large icons view is there. We have the large icons view. There sometimes what happens is there will be category wise. Category wise will be like this. So better you switch there and select large icons. In these icons, you will find administrative tools. Remember one more time, if you are not using Windows, how to handle it, I will tell you in the next level. Okay, I am just showing you a sample of web server, because immediately people will come with question, sir, I am using Mac PC, what to do? Right? What to do, I will tell you, right? How to handle that, we will discuss about that. Initially, go to administrative tools. Administrative tools. You see there is an option administrative tools. Open administrative tools. You can see that in administrative tools, you will find IIS, Internet Information Services Manager. If you are unable to find it, because it is a server that comes with Windows operating system by default, sometimes it may be turned off. You need to turn it on. You don't need to install. Already it is installed, available with Windows. So you have to just turn it on. If it is not available here, what to do? I will show you. See, go to control panel. In the control panel, there will be an option called programs and features. Programs and features. Actually, programs and features is the location from where we can add and remove programs on our PC. From your PC, if you want to uninstall any program or install any program, everything is managed from here. Go to programs and features. In programs and features, you can see this is the list of all programs available on my PC. And left side, you will find turn Windows features on or off. Turn Windows features on or off. You click on that link and it will show the list of features. In the list of features, you have to select Internet Information Services. You have to select that checkbox. Sometimes in your PC that may be unchecked. You have to check that. Once you check and click OK, then it will add IIS onto your PC. It will take some time to add that IIS onto PC, and sometimes it will ask you to restart your PC. You restart your PC, automatically where it will be available, if it is added, where it will be available, control panel, which location, administrative tools. In administrative tools, you will find IIS here, Internet Information Services Manager. It is available here. So once you have this, that means your computer is ready. Your computer is ready for web development because you have a web server. And for Windows operating system, advantage is by default it comes with web server. Anywhere else you have to separately install. Even in Windows also we can install other servers depending on the requirement. Right? I will show you how to install a server universally for all operating systems, how to handle them, so that everybody can practice in the same way. Currently, server is ready, server is available. We have to test whether it is working or not. That means you have to test the web server. Once you have the web server available, you checked it, it is available, you have to test the web server. For that, what you have to do is open any browser. Open any browser like Internet Explorer, like Edge, like Chrome, like Firefox, any browser, Opera or Safari, any browser. You open any browser, and in the browser, you have to type the URL like this. What is URL and all, I am going to discuss detailedly. You will understand, because as a technical developer, you should have a clarity on every term now. What is HTTP, what is URL, everything we will discuss. That means you, as of now, I will say type the following address. What is the address you have to type? http://127.0.0.1 or this is the default IP address of your server on any computer in the world. This is the standard IP address. You have to use the same IP address, or you can write like this: http://localhost. You can try this. Localhost is a word. It indicates that it is present in the same computer and you are accessing from the same computer. That means if server is installed in the same computer and you are accessing from there, then we have to use the word localhost. Suppose server is in some other computer and you are accessing from there in your computer, we use the IP address. Currently both are related to same machine. You can use any. So what you have to do now, observe, open any browser here. Open any browser. In this browser, in the address bar, you have to type like this: http://127.0.0.1. Then hit enter. When I hit enter, you can see the server response will come and it will display this. You can also, this is the server, Internet Information Services. For this, you don't need any internet connection. This is local server. That means you are currently using an offline local server which is installed in your computer. This server is responsible for building our web applications. So this is where we test our web applications. This is where we run the applications and do everything. This is the web server. So it is working fine. You can try in another way also. What you can do is in the address bar, you can type http:// what is it? Localhost, and hit enter, then it will run. That means web server is working. Either you use IP address or you use this localhost. So server is ready. So you understood what is a server and what is the role and responsibility of server overview. Role and responsibility of the server is to host the applications and to test the applications. Currently we are doing that. We will host the application and run the application here. Okay. So web server is ready. Next important, you need to understand what is a website. What is a website? And you need to understand what is a web application. What is difference between website and web application? This is also very frequently asked difference, because many people don't know the difference between a site and an application. So that means as a web developer, we should have a clarity on website and web application. So server is ready. I hope everyone is clear with the server, right? I will show you universally another technique. That means more easier technique. How to handle that, how to install the softwares required so that on every PC you can use it. Because many people come with a complaint that in my PC IIS is not adding, IIS is not working. I will tell you an alternative technique in the next session, how to handle that. Initially, server is ready. Now we need a application, website. Technically, if anybody asks a developer, what is a website? First point, majority people who learned little bit of HTML, all these things, when you ask the question, what is a website? First answer will come, website is a collection of pages, web pages. That is wrong. Let's prove that wrong, right? If anybody says website is a collection of pages, he is not a developer. So for us, he is not a developer. He just knows some technology. That's it. That means he is not perfect about this, because website is not a collection of pages. Technically, I will show you, we will prove that point. Technically, website is a virtual directory. Virtual directory. Website is a virtual directory that provides access to the resources on server. Technically, website is a virtual directory. Let's prove this point. Because many times people say that website is a collection of pages. That is completely wrong. We will prove that point now. Technically, what is a website? Website is a virtual directory. Remember, the meaning of the word site, means location. The site means location. In a computer, location means, in a computing system, location means obviously it will be a drive and a directory, na? Obviously it will be a drive and a directory. Directory means folder. In a computer where you kept your photo, then you will say that in D drive this folder. That means site is a location, and you are talking about a location in a computing system. That means always it is a directory. And web indicates that it is a location on server. Understood? So which server? It is a location on web server. But very important, it is a virtual directory. Virtual directory means in physical reality you will not find it. Then how it gets the resources? I will show you. Let's see now. We have the server. Let's open the server now. To open the server, open control panel. In the control panel, we will go to administrative tools. In administrative tools, open IIS, Internet Information Services. This is double click. This is the server. Previously, what you saw was the response from server. Previously, you used localhost. That is response for server. This is the server infrastructure. This is the location where we manage all our applications. You see here, in this server, observe carefully. In this server, left side, this is the server name. That is some server name. But when I move the mouse onto it, observe carefully. This is the virtual name. Its virtual name is what? http://localhost. This is the virtual name of that server. That means we can access the server by using that virtual name or IP address I showed you. Now expand this server. You will find there is a sites folder. Expand the sites folder. You will find there is a default website. There is a default website. This is the location where we maintain our websites. Default website is the location where we maintain our websites. So how to create a website? See, right click on default website. There is an option, add virtual directory. So technically, in technical terms, so as a developer, website is a virtual directory. Creating website is all about adding a virtual directory. Let's see that now. I will select add virtual directory. Remember, there may be several already websites here. Already several websites are present here. There are so many websites present here. I will do one thing, right click here and select add virtual directory. That means you are adding a website. And see, it is asking what is the name for the website. So see here, two details are present. Now it is asking alias. Alias is nothing but website name. For example, I given the name as Netflix like this. Just name as Netflix. That means now your website address will be http://localhost/ in that what? Netflix. Remember, website names, email addresses, capitalization doesn't matter. Many people who don't know, they ask, sir, capital letter same, right? Website address, email address, capitalization doesn't matter anywhere. Okay. So the point here is, anyway you give, the spelling is important. The point is important. This is how we can access. There is another way. So you can access http://127.0.0.1/ in that what we have to do? Netflix. Later what happens is, if you want to make it live, then we will go to online, we will purchase a domain and we will purchase the space and we upload this project there. Then it will be netflix.com, then it will be netflix.org or netflix.gov, something. How to purchase the domains, I will tell you. We will see that point. Initially this is local, this is available only on your PC, but remember, it is a virtual directory. Virtual directory means, in physical reality, is there a folder called Netflix? In physical reality, is there a folder called Netflix? No, we don't have that. That is the reason you see it is asking another option, physical path. Physical path. You observe here, when I select add virtual directory, it is asking two things. One is, what should be website name? I given the website name as Netflix. That is the website name. It is asking what is the virtual path, physical path. Physical path means, for this website, from where the resources will come. You have to select a location on your PC. From which location? Because virtual path doesn't exist now. Virtual path doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So you have to tell the physical path from where you want to access. Don't write the path. You have to select an existing path. So you see Eclipse button here. Click on that and explore your computer locations. Suppose in my computer I selected some C drive and I created a new folder. I will give the new folder name as Netflix. Same name I can give, right? So you can give a different name also, but better we keep the same name. And this is the physical path. This is the physical path. That means now your website is having, so virtual path and physical path. The physical path is like this, C:// what is it? Netflix. As a developer, you have to keep all the resources in this location. As a developer, you have to keep all the resources in that location. Which location? Physical path. Can you give this physical path to your clients? You cannot give physical path to client. If you give physical path to client, he can delete the files, he can rename the files, he can move the files. Then without giving the physical path, how he can access our resources? Without giving the physical path, how he can access our resources? By using the virtual path. So every website will have two paths, virtual path and physical path. Virtual path is the location where you have to keep your resources as a developer. Physical path is the location where you keep the resources. Virtual path is given to clients. Clients can access our resources. They can access our resources from which location? They can access by using the virtual path. You see now, I will save here. I will save here. You can see, I will click on that button. So the virtual directory, so it is configured. Click OK. The directory is created. You see, a website is ready. A website is ready. Now observe carefully. Are there any resources in this website? Are there any resources in this website? No, it's empty. Let's try this and see now. I will open in the address bar http://127.0.0.1/ what is it? Netflix. I am requesting this Netflix and hit enter. You can see it shows a message. There are no contents. Obviously, there are no contents. Currently, you have a website with no resources. Let's keep some resources for this website. Resources means images, PDF documents, text documents, anything. For example, where to keep the resources for the website? We have to keep the resources for website in its physical path. What is the physical path now? Go to your computer. In computer, which drive? C drive. In C drive, which folder? Netflix. In this Netflix folder, it is currently empty. In that folder, I will give the new folder. I will create a separate folder. In that, I will give as images. In that images folder, I will copy some picture in my computer. That means in my computer, I have some image. Let's take some image on my computer. So in my computer, I am having some images. We will use that here. Means some images that are present in our computer. So let's take any photo, any Netflix related image is there. I will take that. Yeah. Yeah, some image is there. I will copy it and I will paste in this location. You can see that image name is Netflix back. Netflix back, and its file is type JPG. Now let's go here. We kept some resources there. After keeping the resources, you see now in the URL in Netflix website, we have a location called images. In that we have a file called Netflix back dot what file? JPG, and you can see that it is directly accessing it. Do you have any web page here? No. Now, if anybody says that website is a collection of web pages, I don't have any web pages, but I have a website. That means website is not collection of web pages. Don't ever say that word. Website is a collection of resources. Can anybody access the resources of website? You can access resources of website directly if you know the path. But the question is, how do I know in their website have this path? I don't know. That is the reason for users what we do, we create an interface. From the interface, they can select what resources they want. That interface is called as web page. Without a web page, can there be a website? Yes. Without a web page, can you access anything from website? Yes, you can. See, for example, I will show you a website. You know, there is a website, Tutorials Point. I will show you a website, Tutorials Point. In tutorialspoint.com, in that I have a folder called HTML. In that HTML folder, I have HTML underscore tutorial dot PDF. They given a HTML tutorial in a PDF form. I am accessing that directly here. I am accessing that directly here and hit enter. I hit enter. Directly that PDF document opens. I don't need to go to their home page. If I know the path, I can directly access it. But how do I know that this path will be there? I don't know. That's the reason for clients, we have to design an interface. Through that interface, they can access our resources. That interface is called as web page. Web page. Without web page, there can be website. There can be resources in the website. You can access them also. For example, see in our project location, open the physical path. Physical path is in C drive. In C drive, which location? Netflix. In Netflix, I will create a separate folder here. In the Netflix, I will create a separate folder here. Right, yes. In the Netflix, I will create a separate folder here. I will give the folder name as docs. Docs is the folder. In that docs folder, I will copy some file. Suppose in my computer, I am having some PDF file. some PDF document is present. I will open that PDF document and put it here. The PDF document name is CSS demo. Just like you have seen Tutorials Point website. Now see what we will do is in the URL, now I am typing like this. So you can type http:// what is it? Local host / what is the website? Netflix / in that which folder? Docs. In that what is the file name? cssdemo.pdf, and hit enter. It can get access that document and display you that. This is a website and resources in website. But it is very difficult for anybody to know the path and remember the path and access. But if you know the path, you can directly access. So website comprises of two paths, virtual path and physical path. Physical path is used by developer to keep the resources. Virtual path is given to client to access the resources. And very important, as a developer, now our responsibility is to design a good interface so that they can interact with the resources. And for that, you need a web page. So what is a web page? How web pages are designed? These points we have to discuss now. That we will see in our next session. Okay, in the next session, we will see that. In next session, I will show you another technique of creating a project. How to create a project, how to run the project, how to compile the project, how to see the output. I will show you another technique. That technique is suitable for everybody. That means you don't need to have IAS. So Windows, Mac, Ubuntu, Linux, everybody can follow that approach. That I will give you in the next session. Tomorrow we will do that. And whatever I discussed today, all these notes I will upload into a online location. I will share that location to you. I will share that location here. That means demo related notes actually. Yeah. So this is full stack. Yeah, this is the location where I will upload the file here. I will give you the path for that. Which whatever the notes I am discussing in the classroom currently, I will upload that notes there. Full stack. Yeah, this is the full stack demo related course. These two documents are there. These two documents I am uploading into this location. Yeah. And let me copy that location. First, I will ping to these online people here. This is the location where you can get all the notes. And this is the location for you people. There I will upload the classroom notes until the demo sessions, because once we finish the demo sessions, we will have a Google Classroom. We will have a Google Classroom and we will share all our online notes and assignments and everything on that Google Classroom. Until that moment, you have to get from here, right? The classroom related notes every day, I will put it here. So today, what you have to do, you have to try what you have to try at home. So you have to try locating web server. Understood? Locating web server and create a web site. These two things you try. Tomorrow, I will show you another process which will be suitable for everybody. And that process we will follow up to end. Up to end, we will follow that process. How to install, how to configure and everything, right? Tomorrow we will continue with that. Tomorrow we will see, right? Thank you.